Hey guys, so today we have another behind the scenes video. Today I'm going to be walking you through the process of how I animated the Doc Ock arms from Spider-Man No Way Home in my new TV spot. I used three main methods when building the arms. As you can see, this shot has all three. The first being the just basic Technic piece build that you see in a lot of the Spider-Man sets. The second being this sort of wire from Bionicle, or like a bunch of ray guns and stuff. And the third being the new version that they have in the Daily Bugle that's got this kind of like shower head piece that gives it a curve. So I'm just going to be detailing how I use these effects, which scenes, and how I chose to use which arm in which scene depending on the action. And you know, if the arm needed to do something really complicated, I'd use the wired one. If it needed to just do a basic action, I'd use the stiff one. And then for the wired one like this, I'd mask out the supports and all the shadows. Speaking of shadows, today's video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Raid is a free game that you can play anywhere on your mobile device while you're waiting for your brick films to export or for a voice actor to send you some lines. This newest boss addition to the game that Loki looks like Doc Ock's tentacles is the Hydra, a beast with 6 different heads. The head of Blight is a poison head with a defense cloud that does all sorts of messed up stuff to your guys. The head of Torment is a haunting head that affects your players with fear. The head of Mischief will steal your strongest champion's buffs to use it as its own. The head of Wrath is an angry tank that weakens your team, plus it gets more dangerous after you attack it 15 times. The head of Decay is like Loki and will steal your healing abilities to heal its own allies. And lastly, the head of Suffering, whose ability Pain Link shares damage you deal directly back at you. There's a ton happening in Raid this month. To start off, Raid's releasing a bunch of awesome new champions, along with a brand new factions war for the Shadowkin. Also, if you got a new iPhone, the visuals on this game look really sick actually. And if you use my link or scan the QR code here, you get a free starter pack worth like $30. This includes a free champion, Tyrell, 200,000 silver, 1 XP boost, and 1 energy refill, and 1 ancient shard, so you can summon a champion right off the bat. All these rewards will show up in your inbox for the next 30 days. Links are at the top of the description to download Raid on your mobile device. But yeah, so the first technique is just this one from the, the normal builds and sets that we get. So this one is not as posable, but it is a really nice design and shape. So in scenes like this where it's just rising up, I'll just have it stiff, and then when it needs to bend, I'll get a little bend in there. And then on the end where the Technic piece connects, I add a stud with like a little bit of rod on it, like a short lightsaber nub. And then at the top I'll put a red stud. And then as you can see, these are some small metallic horns, and they're just attached with clay. So this shot is pretty quick, so you can't really register the clay, but it's there to support the arm so that it looks like the 3 claws. And then also just adding some motion blur because this arm is really unstable. So shots like this, the front piece is not actually connected to the back. I just have two separate builds so that it looks like it's going up really high. The next shot is a shot like this, where this is a tricky shot because the arm needed to curl Spider-Man, and I didn't really know how to do that with the Technic arm, so I had to figure out a technique as to where it would grab him and then be able to curl him really close like this. So the grabbing shot is just the second method that I used, the little rope. This wire is not posable at all, so you have to have a lot of supports when you're using this one. As you can see, some more studs, clay, and then metallic claws. And when he's getting curved, since this wire doesn't hold its shape, I have a clear piece on top of Spider-Man that I'm holding off frame. As you can see, it goes up really high, and I'm holding it with my hand. You can see my hands at the top there, and curling him as the shots go. This is a really unstable process, so I don't really recommend it, but it looks really good. Like the final result, I really was happy with. And then as you can see, Doc Ock's bottom 2 arms are holding him steady in place. These are just the normal Technic builds. They're into some bricks. And then I have to mask this support out underneath Doc Ock since he can't really stand on his own. And then, oh, actually that's not for Doc Ock. That support is holding the wire. So since this curving method has a lot of weight, or like puts a lot of pressure on the wire, it's not actually going into Doc Ock's back. It's going into that support brick you see behind him. And then the last arm just has to do with a cool little pose. So I use the basic one that comes in all the sets, just curved over here with a Technic like wrench piece on the end. So yeah, this is the only shot that used all 4 arms, and you can see they all serve their different purposes. And then just some bricks here to show that it's clamped onto Spider-Man, and he's got that backpack piece with a stud to keep this part of the arm secured so that when I spin him, it doesn't pop off. Next shot here has two versions of the arm. Again, the static ones are just all the Technic pieces, and then some clay holding the claws, and the one wrapped around Spider-Man's torso is the new one from the Daily Bugle, which is the like studs plus shower head build. And then once I get here, I switch over to the other wired one that's less stable, just so I can get a better look when it's grabbing his head. And then this is the one shot I wish I used a little less clay, but as you can see, the clay's right there, just holding down both of those things, both the claws to grasp his head. And then some motion blur, of course, because you guys know I love motion blur. And then raising him. This next shot is interesting because yeah, I used a Technic build, but I added some paint on it. I made it a little colored because this is the shot where the nanotech has taken over the blade. And as you can see here, it's just a string that I placed on a long arm that I placed on a brick that I slid towards Spider-Man as I was doing the shot. So yeah, this one was pretty easy just because it was going in a straight line, and then I could rotate it a bit, get some motion blur since it's sliding off frame. And then the arms for this shot are red, so I used some small red pieces that you see on like cars or that one Harry Potter book set with, again, just some more gold plating because it's a quick shot, but I wanted there to still be some gold. And then the arm that is wrapped around Spider-Man is the old normal Technic one that I just clayed some like dark mahogany or dark red pieces onto to show that the nanotech has taken over the arm. And that arm is just clayed to the piece that Spider-Man's on, whereas the other one is just heading to him off screen on a brick. And then lastly is the final shot, which employs two techniques for the arm, but this one's cool because I can actually explain the process of the arms opening up, since, you know, they do that little extension and then all the claws come out. So yeah, the two bottom arms again are just the normal Technic ones because they're very sturdy, and then the two top ones are the newer versions with the shower heads from the Daily Bugle set. And as you can see on the right one, it's got a stud in it, and then some clay holding up the three claws. And then the left one starts off with this like cone stud piece. The other one actually starts off with that as well. It opens really early, so we go from the cone to the stud and claws, and then it fully extended in about 4 frames, one ease frame. And then the other one, he talks to it and it opens, and we go from a cone 1 by 1 to like a just regular brick, then the claws and the stud and some clay, and then open again. And yeah, so I just replaced the stud onto here, and this is what it looks like in real life. This technique, I like this one because the other two versions of the arms, the Technic and the wire, couldn't really get the curves that I wanted, and so this new build was really able to capture the curviness of the arms in some scenes. And then of course, when I'm shooting the shot of Spider-Man getting curled, this is the clean plate so that I can mask that out later. And yeah, that was a simple pan. So what I did for that one was I just took the shot and then I panned again later to get those frames. I don't recommend getting masking frames after you're done because I had to line a bunch of stuff up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's just the behind the scenes on how I did some of the Doc Ock arms in this video. I thought a few of the techniques were cool. Figuring out that curl was such a mission. So I'm glad that that turned out pretty well. I'm happy you guys are liking the video. It's doing pretty well. I'm really proud of it. It was a little project I wanted to finish before I went on vacation. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Some more videos are coming soon, like Boba Fett, some Attack on Titan Lego videos. A showcase will be coming soon of some custom minifigures I got, and then I'll be doing some brick films. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I hope you guys found anything useful in this video. I love doing behind the scenes because the last one, a lot of you seem to find a lot of the tips useful, and even stuff that I think is common knowledge. Like every brick filmer has little things that they do that a lot of other people can learn from. So yeah, just thank you guys for watching, and some more videos will be coming soon.
Hello, Peter.
Do I know you?
You think your fancy new suit's gonna save you? Looks like we got competition.